Hello, it's Kerry. Welcome to Piece of Paper. Today I'm going to talk you through how I metrify sketches. By that, what I mean is take a 12 by 12 sketch and convert it into an A4 format, which is the way that I scrapbook. So I have this sketch that I've acquired from online, and you can see it is 12 by 12, but I have a lot of photos I want to scrapbook today, and as such this looked like the right kind of sketch for me to use. But what you'll find is when you convert from 12 by 12 to A4, your layouts need to become narrower and proportionally taller for sure. So what I'm going to do is have a go at that. And today I'm taking two of the papers from the Halloween Spooky Sweet set that are predominantly monochrome. I'm going to bring in the two colours that are predominant in my daughter's cheerleading teams. So that's a purple and this kind of turquoisey blue. These are the papers that I'm planning to use today with that sketch. And then this is the photographs that I've laid out my interpretation of the sketch in that metrification. So on this side, you'll see it's very similar, but I've ended up going with 3 photos along the bottom rather than 4 because of that narrower format. And my larger photos are actually 4 by 3s. So they're not as big as the 6 by 4s. And then on this side, obviously because I didn't have the width, I'm going to overlap these 2 photos like this rather than them being next to each other. But that also increases the proportional height. And then here where we have 4 by 3s, I've actually gone for squared photos on this side, and I think these are 3 by 3s. So that fills the space without being as wide. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm actually going to talk you through how I work out the depth of my papers because obviously I'm not following the measurements. So this narrow border across the top, because I don't have loads of space, I will probably just make that 1 centimetre, maybe 1.5, but I think probably 1 looking at that. Then this one here, piece A, that comes down to between these 2 photos. So for me, I'm thinking that's probably going to come just below this photo. No, it's going to come here to the bottom of this one. So if that's 1 centimetre, then this needs to be probably about 12 because we'll be down here. So yeah, 12 centimetres for this one. Then the next one will be coming from, where did we say if we measure that to 13? It will be to there. And then that will come down to between these, probably about 6. And then I'll do another 1 centimetre for the band across there. And so that means my bottom one's going to be about 9.5. And obviously I'll cut them slightly wider so that we can overlap them. I've cut my papers. I've stuck down some white card as base layers. I've used removable sticky glue dots so that they stay in place. Now I'm going to dry fit my papers. We said the grey was going to go at the top. I had planned for them to go both in the same direction. So we'll, for those heavier corners, probably that side and that side. You have darker down in the bottom corners, it sort of helps to ground the whole layout. And then we've got these 2, and we'll work out what's going over and what's going under once we bring the photos in. These were the 2 for this side. That looks about right. Maybe this comes up a small amount. Put this one on top, and then put the purple like that. Yeah, that fills the space up better. And then we've got the 3 little ones to go here. And I'm thinking that I possibly will put some journaling underneath here. So I'm going to put those a little bit higher just to leave space for journaling. So if we make the same change on this side, just bring those back in to check everything's looking okay. So the plan is for this one to be sort of level with the top of that one. And then we've got the 3 coming down on this side. Probably will leave that purple border to go between them like that. And then these 2, I think, no, I think it's that way for those 2. So they'll stay in the blue zone. That looks pretty good. I'm not going to stick the photos on yet because I want to have a think about photo mats, but I am going to stick all of the base papers down now. Papers are all laid down now, and I'm going to have a look at cutting out some photo mats. I've put black mats around the largest photos. I don't very often use black mats, but I used them on last week's layout and I really liked how they came out. And obviously black is a really key colour throughout this layout. So I've done those in black. And then these 2 down here, I felt needed something to lift them, especially off this blue. And I needed to have one that was consistent for both of them. So I've used purple there and I'm pleased with that. I think that's looking nice. Then over here, I was looking at putting a black mat behind these 3, maybe a single one, but I think it just makes the bottom of the page too heavy. It really draws your eye and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I think, is take out this and then just ink up around the edges in black of these 3 photos and these 3 photos. That gives them a little bit of a lift without being too bold. That's all the photos stuck down now. I'm really pleased with how this is coming together. I'm probably going to go and prepare a title on my silhouette, and I need to have a think about what embellishments we're going to use because I don't really have many cheerleading things, but I do have a few shapes downloaded on my silhouette that I might look at bringing in. But I'm also thinking probably some stars, and probably the embellishments are going to go here, here and here. I might think about trying to squeeze something in up here, and I'm just going to see how it balances out. Right, so I have prepared my embellishments. I did a print and cut and then a print with an offset for the title. Backed that onto purple because I think we need to balance the purple mats from down here. And then I've cut out stars in different colours, some solid stars and some empty ones because you don't want the bigger ones to be too in your face. And then because of this picture here with Sky with the trophy, I thought it might be nice to have trophies in some of the embellishment clusters. So I've cut out 3 of those in different sizes. I don't know if we'll use them all, but we've got them. I decided to start the embellishing, seeing what will fit in behind the title. I want that to be a cluster as well as the title. So first I'm looking at trying to put a star in of all the different colours, and you'll see over the next minute or so me moving things around a lot. I keep adjusting the embellishments around the title. I'm experimenting with different size of stars and also whether they're filled in or complete ones. And nothing seems to come quite together. I'm very aware of the big blue border along the top there. So I'm trying to keep the blue away from that. Then I realised that I had planned to put a trophy in this section, and I'm hoping that that's going to help. At this point, I start to realise that I probably haven't cut out enough of the right size of the different stars. So I put those 2 black ones there as a placeholder, intending to come back with a larger one later. Next, I start work on the left-hand cluster, and again, I'm concerned about the blue over the blue background. So I'm trying to use some denser colours behind it, so the blue is standing off from the blue background. That seems to be coming together okay. So I move on to the bottom right hand cluster there, and I don't have heaps of space here, and I'm trying to find stars of different colours and sizes, some open, some closed, and you'll see me just rearranging them, trying different things. And I add 3 stars there and then go to cut the additional pieces I need. Right, I've got almost everything stuck down. Stuck down all the embellishments. I've added some bling. I've added these little white flowers from the Peaceful Garden set that sort of mimic this 5-point star, some other gems. And then I've put 25 on this trophy here because it was the 2025 season. I had this cheer bow that I'd cut out from a previous layout that I'm thinking about putting there on the trophy. Not 100% sure yet, but actually, as I look at it without it, I think I do like it there. So I'll glue that down as well. The only thing that remains to be done is a little bit of journaling. I'm going to do a couple of strips here. There's not heaps to say because this is from the whole of the year, but it's just to capture the season and what teams the girls were competing in. Here's the finished layout. As you can see, I put some strip journaling down here. If you're interested in different types of journaling, have a look at my video, 8 different hacks for journaling for scrapbooks. I'll let you have a look now so you can see the glimmery paper, the foil paper and the little sticky gems. I've done the journaling strips 1 centimetre deep, and on this side the same. You can see the 25 on the trophy, and I have stuck down that blue bow now, which I do think just finishes things off nicely. So thanks for spending time with me. If you've enjoyed it, give it a like and think about coming back and seeing me again. Thank you. Bye bye.